So you're thinking about moving to Mission Hills, San Diego. This is going to be one of my very favorite videos because it's one of my favorite neighborhoods anywhere across San Diego, and we're gonna give you everything there is about Mission Hills in this video. We're gonna explore the streets, the stores, the shops, the restaurants, all the life here, and we're also gonna make our way into some neighborhoods and some residential streets to show you 3 different properties at 3 different price points so you know what fits your budget here in San Diego, and specifically in Mission Hills. So if that's what you're looking to get, then this is the video for you. We're gonna explore Mission Hills and we're gonna get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Mission Hills and here in San Diego in general, then you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel, tap that bell also for notifications so that you're the first to know of anything that happens here in Mission Hills and across San Diego County. I'm DNBer, and every single day people just like you are sending us phone calls, text messages, emails, setting up Zooms, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're making the move in the next 9 days, 9 months, 9 years, this is the place for you to get all the information you need, and we're here to help make that smooth move to San Diego easy for you. All right, let's get started, and I just want to talk about where we're located, Mission Hills history a little bit, and it's a special video for me because this was really my original stomping grounds when I first got married to my wife. We lived back that way, so just behind me is another neighborhood, great neighborhood called Hillcrest, and Mission Hills is just to the west of it here. We would spend so much time here. This is actually where we originally tried to purchase a property, which we're gonna walk by in just a moment. But frankly, at the time, we couldn't afford it. So we ended up getting what ended up was a blessing anyway. It was this wonderful property over in Hillcrest. But we'd walk to exactly where we are all the time. We'd come eat. In fact, the Red Door across the street is a spot that we would go to quite a bit. And this is really just one of San Diego's best neighborhoods. I mean, this is, when you're looking at Mission Hills, it's essentially, go back to when it was first developed. The first home here in 1887 on Orizaba Street. But it really got going and really started getting mostly developed where it wouldn't be rare at all for us to find 1920s homes, 1930s homes. That was the time when Mission Hills really got up and going. And what it was is you had Old Town down the hill here just north of us that was buzzing. It was going and going. Downtown area was growing. And what we would call the forefathers of San Diego said, you know what, we need an upscale, kind of up in the hills, away from the action, quieter place to build an upscale neighborhood. And so this became like the Beverly Hills of San Diego County. Now, you fast forward to today, it's still upscale. We're gonna be visiting 3 homes today. One of them is in the $4 million range. And we're of course gonna look at other price ranges as well so you can see what your budget would do for you here. And they're also just fun to look at. But it's really, really beautiful. It has some of San Diego's most pristine, gorgeous streets that could hold their own to any neighborhood across San Diego. And so we'll visit those, we'll see them. And right here, what we're doing is we're walking along Washington. Washington's kind of the main thoroughfare that connects actually Mission Hills to the more like the downtown area all the way. I mean, you could take Washington for a ways. You could go all the way through Hillcrest and get connected over to all the way over to the North Park area. But right here, you see across the street, there's just a lot of nice little local spots. Joe's Diner's there. Joe's Diner is a complete locals favorite. In fact, I ate there just before shooting this video to fuel up for it. You did have Starbucks. That's just back behind us. Pizza shop. That pizza shop right there is awesome. By the way, also Bronx Pizza. That's the place that you do not want to miss. And then you have a lot of farmers farm to table. So that's really in line with kind of just the spirit of what Mission Hills is all about. Lamplighter is a place right here on Washington. You don't want to miss it. So what makes that place special, A, it's a lot of fun. B, you find anybody in there. You can find people in their 40s and 50s. You can find people in their 20s. You're going to find the CEO of whatever company you work at, and you're going to find the people from the mailroom. Everybody and anybody is at the Lamplighter. It's this wonderful divey karaoke bar that you'd be hard pressed to find someone that doesn't love it, hasn't been there. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it. So we're hitting Goldfinch right now, and as I make a right on Goldfinch, I want to just point a few things out. First of all, there's that way south of Washington versus north of Washington. So when you're talking about Mission Hills, something that you'll see always is the homes will get distinguished between, are we in North Mission Hills, or are we in South Mission Hills? North Mission Hills is where you'll have the more expensive, more pristine, larger, most coveted homes. South Mission Hills, it gets a little bit more affordable, but it's still pricey. This is an upscale, expensive area, high rents if you're a renter, high rents if you're a landlord, which is really great. And there is that distinction though that I want to make sure you're aware of, where kind of the property will be a little tighter, views not as impressive in South Mission Hills versus in North Mission Hills. Having said that, we're still splitting hairs. I mean, we're talking about great versus outstanding. You know, these are the whole Mission Hills community is the place to be, and among San Diego's most, let's just say, well, it's what it is, among its most prestigious locations. So here's a look at one of these little local spots. Harley's Gray, kitchen and bar here. And we're on Goldfinch. And this is a lot of fun because La Puerta, which is one of the most popular Mexican spots in downtown over in the gas lamp area, they opened a second location right here on Goldfinch. This used to be another business, but unfortunately they're not here any longer. They didn't survive the pandemic. And La Puerta took advantage. You'll see it's a cool little spot in there. Really nice architecture. These are those condos, by the way, that my wife and I attempted to live in back in 2010. Didn't have what we didn't, you know, it just wasn't meant to be at the time. So we never ended up living there, but it's always just been a near and dear place to us. Down here, this restaurant, Cardellino, I've actually not been there, but I've been in the space so many times because it used to be a restaurant called Brooklyn Girl. Brooklyn Girl was a favorite, but it did not survive the pandemic. So that's a place for me to try here really soon, but that always had us kind of coming back to that building that we almost lived in. Anyhow, I want to point this out for sure, Cinema Under the Stars. So one of the most well-known, but kind of cult following theaters in San Diego County is Cinema Under the Stars. So if we were to get back there, so let's actually take a look at what they're doing. Sean Adler on Shark Tank, go Nana Hat. So there must be some guy named Sean Adler who's going to be on Shark Tank, or just was on Shark Tank, rented this out probably for a private viewing with his family, his friends. But that's actually where I first saw Casablanca. So you go back there, there's no roof on the place. You sit in these wonderful, like really comfortable chairs, and you have this at-home kind of cinema under the stars, right, per the name, experience. And it is an amazing place for you to have a date night. So if you're someone special you want to surprise with a date night that they're not expecting and something a little different, off the beaten path, definitely recommend that you end up here. And Lefty's Chicago Pizzeria is among those that are in the running for, you know, anytime there's an argument of what's the best pizza in San Diego, Lefty's is often going to be talked about, argued for. It's going to have its, you know, its raving fans. So that's a spot for you to check out. Moving up here to the corner of Goldfinch here with Fort Stockton, there's this little coffee shop that's just it's been here as long as I can remember. And it is a really unique little, you know, exemplifies the culture of what's happening over here. So that's a lot of fun. You get the idea for the streets though. It's a little quieter. If you've seen like our North Park video as an example, definitely if you've seen our East Village video, great neighborhoods, no question about it. Those are all prime neighborhoods, but this is a little more upscale, a little bit quieter, and you can see it just in the fabric of how this place even feels walking through. What the hell, Ty? So it's a lot of fun. What I'm going to do is just walk up here to the corner. I'm going to turn around, and there's a few specific spots that I want to make sure that we get to, and I really want to spend more time on this video than I do on many others exploring the streets, because the residential streets here, they are absolutely gorgeous. And I think it's really one of the most attractive things about Mission Hills is you get to live in what can genuinely feel like the suburbs, but it has this old world suburbs feel. It can be very, very quiet. It can be absolutely residential, kids running around. I mean, it can be the kind of feeling that you mostly have to get far away from the downtown metro area to get, that you have it here, part of what drives the price up, because at the same time, at your footstep, you have all these wonderful urban amenities. So with that, I'm gonna make my way back over to the car. We're gonna jump in there and we're gonna go take a look at these neighborhoods, walk some streets, and give you a real feel for what Mission Hills is like on the ground and what it might feel like if you made it your home. So with that, let's jump over there. Now, real quickly, as we make our way, I wanna just give you a little more orientation. We're about 9 minutes from downtown. We're 12 minutes from the airport. We are about 15 minutes from a number of popular beaches, those including Pacific Beach, Ocean Beach. And so you get this just unbelievable central location with all these urban amenities, and it's what makes Mission Hills Mission Hills. I mean, it's a neighborhood where it doesn't matter what part of San Diego County you're in, you can be 30, 45 minutes away from here. You say you live in Mission Hills, people are like, yeah, good for you, right? Nice, because it's awesome. All right, so here we are. We're on Linwood Street, and in a little cul-de-sac, you'll see it dead ends over here. This is mostly all condos and apartments on Linwood. And we're also located, I should mention, yes, north of Washington, which I'd mentioned are kind of those larger properties, but we're also far down the hill. In fact, I went all the way down Washington, hooked the right on San Diego Avenue, and then just came up here over to Linwood. So this part, when you're really kind of on the lower side of the hill, whether you're north of Washington, south of Washington, it tends to just, the prices tend to be among the most accessible for all of Mission Hills, whether you're north or south, either way. Because if I listen close enough, I'm catching freeway noise. The 5 freeway, which is also really convenient and accessible, is just down the hill here. But we are east of the freeway. Noise does travel east, so that may or may not be something you personally care about, but I do want to make sure you know. You should expect some freeway sound when you're in this kind of area on the very west side of Mission Hills, which also kind of puts you down the hill. Really, where the area where we were filming earlier was well up that way. Anyhow, right behind me, we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 800,000 square foot, $800,000, 1,260 square foot condo. Now, it's been fully renovated, so you can get fully renovated property with 1,260 square feet, 2-bed, 2-bath, right here in Mission Hills, well under $1 million. It's $800,000. I know, depending on where you're coming from, that could sound like a lot. It could sound like a little. That's about our median price point here across San Diego County for single-family housing. Of course, this is a condo, but you're in one of the best addresses in all of the counties. So that's the give and take. In fact, right now I'm hearing a little bit of the train. And that's, look, we're still in an urban area. This is it's an area that, again, was developed to be in that metro urban space, but giving you a much more residential feel. And so this is the entry point here. Now, I should mention too, for this property, the HOA does cover trash, sewer, hot water. There's a lot of expenses you don't have to pay by having this be your property. And then also there is a game room that is for the entire community here. You'll see there's several units over here. And there's a game room that any of the owners can reserve, share, use. So that's a quick look at this property on Linwood. Let's head over and take a look at some single family houses. And we're gonna jump in the car and get out there right now. All right, so we are right here on Sunset Road. It is, again, one of San Diego's most beautiful streets. Just gave a pretty good driving tour through it. And we are at this home that is 1,860 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and perched up over what's known as Robin's Egg Trail. Single family home, beautiful, completely just fully renovated. So that's an idea of what you can get right at about $2.1 million this home is on the market for. Now, having said that, it's only been on the market for 2 days, so as of the time of this recording. So we'll see where exactly it lands, but it's still a relatively new home or new listing. And it's in this gorgeous setting, as you can see all around me. This property with that great classic red door. That's why there's also, that's a very Mission Hills look. That's why there's also the Red Door restaurant, which I showed you earlier. And you get one of the most prestigious addresses right here on the corner of Sunset and Fort Stockton. $2.1 million, and with these really great decks and overlooking that open space walking trail. So probably the best feature of it, aside from the size of the home, which for the area is considered to be large, is the lot size, and it's going to also be the yard size. So as you can see, there's a really good amount of outdoor space. You can entertain, there's decks, and you really bring that kind of California indoor-outdoor feel to this property. So from as far as walking distance to where that commercial area was that I showed you, you're essentially just around this corner. So it's a bit of a walk in terms of it's many blocks. It's not just like around the corner. Having said that, absolutely doable. That it would be very realistic. You could go from this home to walking to dinner. And if you think about most neighborhoods that are this residential, that's a really rare thing. It's also quiet in this location. The airport, however, is just that way. You have really great views just over here. You have Presidio Park, which is one of San Diego's most beautiful parks around the corner. And you have all those great amenities of Mission Hills. And I should have mentioned also when we were there, it's not just those restaurants I was showing you, but if you just make your way a little bit east of the Mission Hills, now you're in Hillcrest, you jump over to University Ave, and you're talking about, I mean, more restaurants, more everything than you could ever want. And so it's all a stone's throw away, but Mission Hills retains a much more quaint, neighborhoodly feel than some of the surrounding urban neighborhoods like Hillcrest, like North Park, like University Heights, South Park, Golden Hill. So there you have it, $2.1 million, 4 bedrooms, 1,860 square feet right here. Been on the market for 2 days, so we'll keep an eye on that one. If you want to find out how it ended up selling, what price it went at, just drop a comment and we'll be sure to answer them, as I answer personally every single comment that comes through right here on San Diego Neighborhoods on our YouTube channel. And with that, let's go take a look at what $4 million is going to buy you in Mission Hills. All right, we just got done with that house. I'm gonna go literally just around the corner. In fact, I probably should just go ahead and walk, but I'm not going to. So I'm gonna flip the camera, drive over there, and we're gonna go look at that $4 million house on West Lewis. All right, so I'm gonna walk over across the street. This is West Lewis. I wanna tell you, there's a lot to talk to you about on this home. First of all, it's listed for $4.25 million. So we're gonna make our way over there in just a moment. Also, it's historically designated, and I'll show you, and we'll talk more about that. I'll show you what it means. We'll talk more about it when we get there. I do want to point out that it's gonna be on 7,322 square foot lot. So it's a big lot, really, really big lot for the area. It means it has really great outdoor space, as you'll be able to see. And as far as amenities, the property has 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and it does have 3,127 square feet. Now, again, back to it being labeled historic. It is a designation that allows you to carry the property taxes forward from way, way, way back. So you could find these $4 million homes where you're paying property taxes as if it was like a $500,000 home. So it's a huge tax advantage if you do have a historic home. Having said that, there's also major regulations over what you can do, especially on the outside of the property. It has to maintain its historical appeal. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come right up the street over here, and I'm just gonna walk up that way with you once we take a look at this home. And what we're gonna do over there is there's actually a lot of nice commercial space this way too. So this is a really special little pocket right here on West Lewis, because it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful street with all these nice homes, and then at the same time, you are stone's throw away from some nice commercial area where you can get food and so on. And of course, you can just duck down to Old Town, you can duck down to Point Loma, you can get to downtown, and you can get to the airport with total ease. So, with having said that, here's a good look at the property. And you see this plaque that's right there. Okay, so that plaque is the historical designation. In fact, as you drive up and down Mission Hills, you'll see a number of these plaques on different houses, and it has to be preserved just like this. So if they said all of a sudden one day, hey, we want to blow it out and we want to have, big modern windows and so on, they would lose the designation, lose the tax status. There'd probably be some large penalties across it too, because the city wants to maintain and preserve this really beautiful historical feel that Mission Hills has, as you can see. In fact, the tax savings on this house are estimated to be at $30,000 a year saved off of your tax bill per year. That's how big of a deal that historical tax designation can be. And that also is a preserver of value on the property because there is such an advantage from the tax side. So you'll tend to see those homes sell for more than the same home without the designation. So inside you can see that it has been remodeled, and it still also has like a really charming, quaint, it has that old world feel. The ceiling features, the flooring that it has. It still has a lot of the wood paneling that the house had and a lot of the molding that the house had. And at the same time, the kitchen is totally renovated. So it has a little bit of new, a little bit of old, all kind of mixed in, but really, really well preserved. Super just, it's a property that we would refer to as being pristine. And they did a really good job in maintaining the old with the new. Outside, it has a really great yard, big open yard, some nice decking, a lot of seating area, and most importantly, not like a lot of homes in the area, which can't say this, it's really private back there. So you have the ability to have private entertainment space, loads of indoor area, right, with those 4 bedrooms, 3,127 square feet. And so that's a really beautiful property for sale. Having said that, it was worth mentioning that home has been for sale for about half a year, 150 or so days, as of the time of this recording. So again, if you want to know where it actually lands, when it sells, if it's sold, you can go ahead and drop it in the comments, or of course you can text us, message us, email us, whatever it might be. People do every single day, just like you. And I personally answer 100% of the comments that get dropped here, and we will respond to 100% of the any message that we receive. So I'm walking up the street here, moving east on Lewis, and we'll just take a look at some of the shops that are right here, and that'll give you a pretty well-rounded look at Mission Hills. There are a few other shopping areas on Washington, on the lower part of Washington. There's a nice little stretch of commercial area, including probably one of the most well-known taco shops in all of San Diego County, been featured on the Food Network, and that would be El Indio. And here you see just kind of these local little spots. Mission Hills right up here. You have these beautiful little lights already going. You see, you just have all these nice little boutiques. This is a cool little massage shop, and they do facials in here. So it's a fun little place. Clothing boutiques, jewelry shop. Hello. Hey there. All right, and there you have it. That's a look at Mission Hills. I hope you've enjoyed it. That is really, it's one of the special neighborhoods across San Diego County. We cover the entire county, north to south, all the way east. Anything you need, and if we can make your life easier, we are here for you. Hit subscribe on this channel. Make sure you tap that bell for notifications. And remember, we get emails, phone calls, and messages from people just like you every single day, and we'll help you make that smooth move to San Diego. So if we could tour you around, just let us know, and we'll see you on the next video.